This segment is going to be on recruiting. How many of you would like to recruit more people? So what we did, we took and ran the reports, find the top recruiters in the company. We looked at things such as income increases, numbers of recruiting. You had to hit a certain number to even be part of what the people that are going to come out. And then we're going to have them come out one at a time, and they're going to share with you some of the things that have been working for them so well, as many of them are starting to break records in the company in recruiting. So let's get started right away with this. The first person I'm going to bring up, you saw up here earlier, you heard of the success she's having through the Instagram program. She's a director in the company. She's a multi-million-dollar earner with the company. She's sponsored over 20-some people in the last 12 months now, and it's increasing every month. Please welcome to the stage, Director Lynn Mitschke.
This business has been an incredible privilege to me. I was able to retire from my career in 2000, and really it has put life into every year I've had since then. But about 6 months ago, I started to think to myself, I'm not really working as hard as I think I should be working. And you know, we all get the Powerline magazine and we page through it and we look at all the power profiles and the success. And I started looking at those pictures and thinking, wow, the hardest working group, the people moving the pin levels are the great, gorgeous Asian American people. And there's not enough of my kind of faces in there. Why? And then I took a look at how am I as a leader? A leader doesn't stay mediocre. A leader needs to lead by doing the things they want other people to do. And I felt like I wasn't giving that everything I should be giving it. And then to top it off, my father, who's 87 years old, he says this to me every time we have a conversation. Every time I see him, every time I talk on the phone to him. And he's a colorful guy, right, Jim?
He is.
Jim's father-in-law. Anyway, every time we have the conversation, I say, love you, Dad. And he goes, hey, wait a minute. Are you still getting a check every Monday? Every time. And he laughs it off like, well, you know, I'm going to need a really great nursing home. The kind of nurses I want are this and that. But it made an impression on me because I thought to myself, what am I doing to earn a check every Monday? It's more money than the work I'm putting in. I'm mentally checking in just a little bit too much. And so I made a decision that I was going to change what I was doing completely. So I set a goal for sponsoring because you need to bring new people in your group all the time. You just need to do that. It's part of this business. So I said, okay, I'm going to show the plan, not maybe the whole plan, but I'm going to expose the business, have an appointment with 5 personal people a week. And then I said to myself, that's weak. You need to make it burn. If you want to really be a leader, you need to make it burn. So I said, okay, I'm going to show it to 10 a week for a year, personal. And then I went, yikes. Now what? Then you have to build a names list. And when you don't have a tremendous amount of people, because you've talked to so many people over the years, you have to get creative with it. So I started looking at connections, social media, making new friends, calling people, friending people, starting conversations with people I did not know to ultimately get an appointment and to start building a names list. And if people weren't right for the business, I did other things. I put together little gifts, sat down with them and said, if you can work with me to find 10 people in your industry, I'd love to give you this. And people will do things for gifts. So this just started to explode where I started to get so many names, and I started to set 10 appointments every single week. And really, if I don't do it in a week, the next week I have to compensate by doing 12 or 13 or 14 because I'm not going to let myself slack off on it for a year. That's 540 in a year. So what do? Most of these are cold people. And the key to this whole thing is to get to know an individual. I worked as a nurse in my career. So if someone would come to me, they were in the hospital, I couldn't begin to know what to give them unless I knew it was wrong, right? If you're going to come in for a sore throat, you don't want me to bandage your foot. It's just the way it is. So you have to feel that person. You have to know what they're all about, what their goals are, what their dreams are, what makes them happy, what makes them tick. And it's a matter of not trying to show the business to them as much as getting them to show themselves to you. So that you can then say, is there a fit? Because we've got a lot of boxes here. We've got a TLS box, we've got a Nutrimetrics box, we've got a Motives box, we've got an entrepreneur box. There's so many boxes, we don't know what shoe is going to fit that individual until we get to know them. So the key is just to relax. And I've really taken a simple approach to this entire thing. I ask really basically 4 or 5 questions to get people talking, and I don't rush that at all. The first thing I ask them is how much time they have. Because I don't want to keep somebody trapped there for an hour if they've got 15 minutes, right? That'd be disrespecting their time completely. And then I just say, tell me about yourself. What's your background? What do you like to do? What interests you the most? What sort of goals do you have? And just getting people talking allows you to really just get an easy rapport where you feel really, really comfortable with that person after a little while. And that can take a little while. That can take the whole 15 minutes, right? Basically, from there, I just say, hey, it's been 15 minutes. I know, they go, oh, no, I have another half hour. Happens every time, right? Because people don't like to be stuck in a place where they're going to feel uncomfortable with you. So from there, I just move into, well, what would you like to learn about what I do and about maybe how what I do might be able to fit into some of the goals that you have? And let them tell me what they want to know. And basically expose things to them as they ask for them. And eventually those people walk themselves right into the business. They're asking you to start the business. One of the ladies said to me the other day, how come I'm chasing you and you're not chasing me? Shouldn't you be chasing me? I'm like, I don't know. Should I? Why would I be chasing you? She goes, because I want to make money. But you don't know until people reveal all of these things to you. Not everybody's going to be, don't get hung up on 1 or 2 people, because not everybody's going to be the person that you want to have in your business or that would be right for the business. But what I do with every single person is I've built a really big database of lists of people in different categories that are on email groups. In fact, there's 75 people right now just looking at Motives that are very interested, that are getting the information from today all in one group. Because what you do with those follow-up groups is you keep exposing them to another thing. And one of the things I always do is use pictures in every communication that I send electronically. Because people love pictures of any kind or sort. It catches their eye, and then they'll read the email. I found without pictures, a lot of times people don't read it. So you want to find something relevant and keep them in the loop, because people will come back, and all of a sudden you'll get the call, the email, the message, hey, I'd like to get started, and you can't even remember who that person was. But they've been thinking about it based on that continual follow-up that you've been giving them the entire time. And remember, if you show this to 10 people in a week, it may be 1 or 2 that are interested. It may be 1 that's going to move forward. It may be 2 that are going to move forward in 6 months. But what you're doing is what JR always teaches, just filling that funnel. And the right people come up to the surface. So really it started with me. I wasn't doing enough for what I was being paid. I know that's the dream, but I didn't feel good about it. So I made a decision. And when I made the decision, it was a decision I was going to stick to, no matter what. And I'm only really 6 months into this. I've learned a lot from it. Obviously, I've been able to bring a lot of people in the business, but there's probably 50 more that are close to starting this. Just from the momentum that you put in place, it doesn't happen the first month, but it builds up over time. And it's going to help so many people in this business to be able to do the same thing, because it's the leadership really that you're putting forth with that. So at the end of the day, I guess my question to you would be, what are you doing for the paycheck that you get every Monday if you're getting a paycheck every Monday? And if you're not, what would you do to get a paycheck every Monday? Just make a decision and go with it and do it. Thanks.
Every person who's risen to a significant pin level in this company made a decision at some point to do it. And when Lynn told me she was going to do that, as a lot of you know, Lynn's my sister-in-law, she said, Jim, I'm going to show 10 plans a week. I mean, my first thought was, that is a lot of, if you've ever done it, that's a lot. But she does a lot through webinars, she does a lot through GoToMeeting, she does a lot through Join Me. And Lynn's learned the technology, and here's the key I looked at. How many of you would work hard? Because this is what I told her. I said, if you'll do 1 year like this, you do realize it'll take care of your next 10 or 20. How many of you would work hard the next year if it took care of your next 10 or 20? I mean, that's the decision we have to make. This next person, I'll tell you what, all of a sudden I started getting calls about her. I was looking through the numbers, Andrew and I were going through it. So, Julie, let's learn more about Julie. And we found out Julie, see? We found out Julie lived in North Dakota. She had sponsored 16 people in the last year. She was building a great business through numerous different majors as well that we deal with. And we said, we've got to get her on stage to share. And I've got to know her a little bit more this weekend already. Please help welcome up Julie Landseedel, Professional Coordinator.
I am from Bismarck, North Dakota. Have to say I am super proud to be part of Team ND. Woo, guys! We may be small up there, but we're pretty powerful, I'm telling you. I've been with Market America, my business, for 3 years now. It's only been 3 years. I can't believe it. By profession, I'm a family nurse practitioner. I've been a family nurse practitioner for quite a few years, practiced in emergency medicine for the last 10 years. And actually, just in the last month, I have resigned from my job, and I'm going into private practice, focusing 100% on what we have with Market America. Absolutely. I'll also say I was in the military for 10 years because that helped create who I am today too also. So this is a picture of my family. Have to throw my family in there because they are so super supportive. My daughter in the middle is my little motives queen, Jordan. So I keep people healthy on the inside. She keeps them beautiful on the outside. So we make a great team. So since this is a recruiting segment, I do have to kind of laugh a bit when, well, first I was very humbled when I got a call from Jim and Andrew, cannot tell you. And I truly thought they were going to be asking me to talk something on wellness, because that's kind of what I focus on. And they were telling me I'm going to be talking in the recruiting segment. I am like the least person who's a recruiter ever. I am not a recruiter at all. And then he said, do you know you sponsored 16 people this past year? I'm like, no, I did not know this at all. So I was just like, oh my God, totally out of my comfort zone of where I'm going to talk. So I'm talking on recruiting, which is kind of funny. So where did I come from? I was found on Facebook. My wonderful sponsor, Lisa, had a nice little intriguing post about Mailbox Monday, back when we used to have Mailbox Monday. And I was like, what is she talking about? And it went from there. Shortly thereafter, she introduced me to OPC and to TLS. My world has never been the same since, and neither for anybody around me and my family. So thank you, Lisa, for that. So the question, Jim has some questions for me. Where do you find people? And I kind of think that's funny because people are everywhere. I don't know where to start to where to find people. The people on the left of the screen is probably where I find the most of them. Number one for me is TLS. I love, live, eat, and breathe TLS. That's what I do. And I will say probably 90 to 95% of the people that I have are from TLS. So I'm very excited about that, because when you change somebody's world, their health, their energy, their waistline, their cholesterol, you have them there for 12 weeks in the amazing bond that you can build with them. You build a really good relationship, and trust when you were working with people's health. It just goes so much easy from there that it just transcends into the next thing. Other ones, Facebook, where I was found, health providers. I would highly recommend looking into health providers' offices. A lot of changes in healthcare going on. And I'll tell you, that makes for some people looking for some things that they may not have been looking for a couple years ago. And the gym. I go to the gym, and I find a lot of people at the gym too, including the gym owners, so that's a great thing. So what do I say to them? Honestly, I just make conversation. You know, when you're asking questions or when they're asking questions, answer in a way that you're instigating what they're gonna, or intriguing them to answer something back. I do the lifestyle survey that Jackie Belasco has, but I do it more in my head. I don't actually give them the survey, but a big one is, if they could change something, what would they change? It's amazing the conversation that starts to go. Listen to what they say so that you can respond with an appropriate way what they want, not what you want. My goal and their goal is completely different. And carry your business cards. Number one, I cannot tell you how many times at the gym I've given out my business card because somebody asked for it, so I always know to carry it. The grocery store, it does not matter. Have a business card. So I'm gonna go back a bit. So when they were asking me, what do I say to people? I really think it's more about, there's so much you can say, but it's more about what you represent in a way, because I truly do not feel that there's anything specific that I say to people that intrigues them to come join me in business. I feel there's more of an overall attitude or something that goes with it. So one of them is smile. Just smile. Be friendly with people. There is enough sadness in the world these days. Be the sunshine in someone's day. They will remember you for that, versus being the negative person. Another big one is social media. Be positive on social media. If you are prospecting people and you're giving out your business card, the first thing they're going to do when they go home is they're going to look you up on Facebook. So at the first page that they see, make sure it's something that they want to be partnering with. You can lose a lot of business partners by what people put on Facebook or Twitter, things like that. And just be the person that you would want to partner with. That's what you want to be. Become a product of your product. I am a strong believer of this, and I don't care what your product is. I don't care if it's Snap, I don't care if it's web centers, I don't care what it is, be a product of it. When you are the positive change that happens, it just goes from there. They will ask you questions, and it will just go from there. The conversation literally will start when they see you transform in a positive way. Educate yourself. I cannot explain that more. Go to trainings. Jackie Birchman, I saw her in the airport, and she said, convention makes you bulletproof. That's exactly what it does. Leverage your trainers, leverage your mentors, use the resources. These are some of the resources that I personally use. We have so many more that came about this weekend. So use these things, but you have to go to trainings because how can you share things with people if you don't know what you're sharing? You have to know. And use your trainers in the beginning and your mentors until you get to that point. Posture. It comes from, everything that you're doing. It does take time and practice. It's not like day one, you open your business and you're, full of posture. You have to acquire it. As Elizabeth Weather has said, fake it till you make it. My daughter and I have frequently said that. They don't know if you're necessarily saying it wrong, but you better go home and study it afterwards so you know you can repeat it good the next time. And mentor with those who have posture, because that is the best way to learn. And I have wonderful mentors in North Dakota who I have. Build habits for success. This is huge because this did happen to me this year, and that's where I got where I am this year. Surround yourself with positive people. Get to know your team members because you never know when you're going to need them. You really, really don't. Build relationships. Stay healthy. Join accountability groups. Call workshops. Anything that you do, wellness 101s. Go to the trainings when the trainers come. They're coming there for you, not for themselves. Listen to audios. Attend trainings, like I said. You have to build habits so they're part of your routine to build your business. It's just what it is. So you have to build these habits so when life doesn't always go as planned, that you fall back on these habits. So for myself, this was a great thing that I learned this past year. The reason is because I'm very humbled by the fact that I had a very successful year in Market America. I am now a professional coordinator. I hit the President's Challenge and the TLS Challenge. Thank you. Which is, it's so surreal because honestly, my family had the most difficult year we've ever had this past 6 months. In July, right before convention, my 1-year-old nephew passed away. And I still went to convention. We still went to convention. At the time, I was part of an accountability group. Thank you, Pam Torgerson, for running that group. I did not miss that group one time those 12 weeks. I honestly do not remember much of July, August, and September. I don't. But I had learned such good habits that I just automatically did them. I had built such relationships with the people in my team that I was there at every training because they're the ones who were supporting me. You never know when you're gonna need the people around you. So here in the past 6 months, when I don't even remember much of it, I had the biggest success, and it truly is 100% because I've built all these habits to kind of move forward with that. So I cannot stress that enough. And then last of all, everything that I just talked about gets you to belief, because you can change the world with belief 100%. You have to do what you need to do to achieve it. You have to. It's not gonna necessarily come looking for you. Open your mind, get to things, get to convention, go to things where you can build the belief that you have. This is my nephew, Austin, who was 1 year and 11 days old when he passed away. He changed more lives in that 1 year than many people I know. We have been given the power and the tools with Market America to build and change lives like no other. There is no reason that we shouldn't be helping others. When you help someone improve their life, like I said, anything else, you take the time and listen to them. It all radiates out to them. Your belief will radiate to them. So that by the end of the day, you're not the one prospecting, because I don't feel like I'm a prospector or recruiter at all. People are coming to you because they want the positiveness that you have and how you can help people. So thank you very much.
What I loved was hearing her say she didn't know how many people she sponsored, which is what she told Andrew and I when we called her. She's like, can you check those numbers again? And we did, because she was in the moment of doing it. And when you're in the moment of doing it, you're not thinking about it. It's just happening. It was happening in so many different ways. Great story, Julie, and a lot of great tips. As we went through this and we picked speakers, one of the things we looked at too wasn't just recruiting, it was building with the people you recruited. And the next speaker I'm going to bring up really pours his heart and soul into trying to help people with this business. He's also building with our global program right now. He's done a great job. He's a director, $1 Million Club member as well with the company. Please help welcome Don Martin to the stage.
Well, I have the privilege, and I was so humbled and honored when Andrew and Jim asked me to talk about recruiting. It's one of my favorite topics. How many people in here love to recruit? All right. This is where it starts. Let's try that again. How many people in here love to recruit? There you go, much better. That's really where it starts. It's where you feel what you feel when you're out talking to people about the business. But what I'm going to talk about during my segment is something that I decided to do and something that Lisa decided to do, and that was meshing the old with the new. When I first started the business, what we did primarily was organically prospect, go out and have conversation with people and build relationships that way. And it still is the most powerful way to build the business, but some new things have come along, and social media has really taken hold, and there's some incredible things that can enhance recruiting efforts there as well. So we're gonna talk about how to mesh those two together as we go forward today. But one of the most important things, and I just mentioned it earlier, is that you need to take ownership of who you are, because you are gonna be who your prospect is gonna buy into. Does that make sense? So you need to prepare yourself first, and look in the mirror and decide if you possess the characteristics of the people that you wanna attract into your life, because you wanna attract someone that's different from you. You're gonna attract like people to you. And if you build this, they will come. They will be attracted to you. So, you heard different variations of this with the first couple speakers, and I think it's because it's that important. Number one, I call this the edge of recruiting, because you have to have an edge out there. You have to be excited and enthusiastic. You have to have a positive outlook on everything. People will not get into business with someone that's a complainer or a whiner about anything, even when they're not looking. It's gotta be a complete mindset for you to find the best in all situations. And when it comes down to building the business, you have to make a total commitment. A total commitment. You can't just stick your toe in it and expect to have results. Does that make sense? Okay? And then you've gotta believe, obviously, in what you do, because people can smell a phony a mile away, and you can say the same thing without belief that someone says with belief, and it won't work for the one without the belief, but it will work every time for the person with belief because they can hear it in their voice and they can feel it. Another part of recruiting is being a competitor. People want to be on winning teams, isn't that true? Somebody's not going to want to get on a team if you're just kind of playing around with it. They want to be on a winning team. So you have to be a competitor and lead by example. Don't simply talk the talk. Go out and walk the walk. And if you're not walking the walk, zip it and go start building again. Does that make sense? And then don't let the negative people affect you. I will tell you this causes more casualties, mentally at least, in the business than anything else. When you're out building the business, one of the most challenging things that we have, especially when we're new, is no matter how you go about it, you have to go through numbers and you have to expose yourself to potentially negative people in order to find the positive ones, okay? And because that happens, the biggest difference between you being successful and the people who struggle is how much you're gonna allow those negative people to occupy any space in your mind at all. They can't have any. And also have a never quit attitude. You know, when I bring on a partner, I lock arms with them and we decide together where we're gonna go, and I'm not stopping and they're not stopping until we get there. And that's a commitment that you need to make to your people and you have to get from them. But this really all just equals posture. One little word that makes the biggest difference, isn't that true? Build that posture. All right, so let me ask you a question, kind of meshing the old with the new here. What do people think, and I want you to really think hard about this. What do people think when they hear your name, you know, in a conversation, or they see your name on social media? What do they think? See, here's something I think is very, very important, meshing the new into the old. What I mean by social media. One of the mistakes that I think is made often is people go out there and they just start throwing a bunch of stuff out there on social media, hoping that someone's gonna bite. But the problem is you're branding yourself as someone that's out trying to be a salesy person, or you're trying to just get people involved in what you're doing. And the funny thing about that is that I have never seen it work. So what do people think when they hear your name or see it on social media? Branding yourself is enormous when it comes down to recruiting. You know, this year we had a great year recruiting. We brought on a ton of new partners. And the amazing thing about it is I probably did less personal phone calls to book the appointments than ever before. And it's because of the branding that I really took serious on myself when it came down to social media. How did I brand myself? Basically, this is what I'm asking. What content do I put on my social media daily that's gonna make people think of me in that light? Does that make sense to everyone? So if you go out there, you wanna put out positive, inspiring, important information that people can really sink their teeth into. And I never, ever try to sell anything on social media. Because all it takes is one time for them to think they're being sold, and they can just block me and never see it for life, and never see anything else I have to say. So it's important to do that, all right? How are you branding yourself? Because your branding will define how people will respond to you when you reach out to get an appointment. If you're branded well, they will receive it, and you'll have no problem getting appointments when you make the calls if you brand yourself correctly on social media. So I love this statement from Zig Ziglar because this is really what it comes down to once you get someone that you're sitting down with and you're really getting into detail on how to help them get what they want. He said you can have anything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. So you have to create a true interest in helping other people achieve their goals. It's not about you. It's about your people. And if you can literally take that moment to step outside of yourself and step into your people, find out what they really, really want and help them get it, recruiting becomes a piece of cake, and you have friends for life because you're helping people change their lives. How many people understand that? Okay? And keep it all together. This business is all about outlets. When you really think of it from a business perspective now, it's about outlets. So you have to figure out a way to increase your distribution centers within your organization, because that's what translates into more BV being generated, which equals more commissions. And that's what we were talking about. And the reason why people don't recruit is because they don't have prospects to recruit. So you have to go out and prospect before you recruit. So when it comes down to it, you just have to be able to identify people. You know, this is what I call organic prospecting, and I still wholeheartedly believe organic prospecting is still the most effective way to build the business. Now, don't get me wrong, probably more than half of my people that I brought into the business this year were through initiating my conversation through social media. But I instantly got them back to a personal phone call or engaging them in a real life conversation, hopefully a real life meeting. Social media is just a conduit that Lisa and I use to get people into direct conversations quicker than we used to do by having to meet people in person or going to professional networking events, okay? But when you're out, possibilities are everywhere you go. And every time you run an errand, something breaks, you buy something, you go shopping, you go out. My goal is to meet 2 people a day, still to this day, in my everyday, just running around doing whatever it is that I'm doing. And if you do that, you'll be amazed at the quality of prospect that will just appear in front of you because you're just aware, and that's pretty important. Now, when I'm out talking to people, this is where I get the majority of my connections. I never talk about what I do. I always talk about what they do. And business people want to give out cards. So I have a very simple prospect to identify people and bring them on board. And bring them on board, what I mean by that is just getting their contact information so at some point in time, I can make a phone call to book an appointment and potentially get together with them. And that's what I'm going to wrap up with, what I call rapport meetings. It's just like what Carl does, which is called his portal tour prospect. It's the same type of thing. But when I meet people in person, I simply just have an easy conversation. I talk about something, either a compliment or a comment. A woman, it's the easiest thing in the world. Just comment another woman on her shoes and your best friends. How many people agree with that? Okay? Guys, just talk about the baseball game or the football game or something. And when you do that, the next thing is I say, so are you from the area? No kidding, what do you do? And whenever they ask me, whenever they answer, I just ask them for a business card. And typically business people love to give out tons of business cards. Isn't that true? How many business people you know out there that have thousands of business cards because they want to give them out? And that's what they do. And then lastly, I just simply call them a book appointment to sit down and build rapport with them. It's a 20 to 30 minute meeting. And when I do that, I let them talk about themselves for the first half of that, maybe 10 minutes or so. And then I sit down and I just tell them a little bit what I do with the portal and a 10-minute tour. And then this is my closer. And I'm going to end with this. When I get done, listen to what they have to say about their business and then tell them what I have to say about ours. I wrap up by saying, this is the best referral you can give for me, because I always want to know what a good referral for them is in their business. And I said, the best referral you can give for me is 2 things. Number 1, if you know people like to save money on the things they're going to buy anyway, send them my way. But the second thing I'm looking for is the people who are really hungry out there that you know that are looking for a secondary way to generate income by running a site like this, have them call me. It can be substantial because of the growth we have. And then typically about half the time, they'll say, what about me? And I book an appointment to show them a plan.
Do you think people get excited by Don's passion and belief just while he's talking? And you know, you heard Julie talk about belief too. And let me ask you a question. Where do you get the most belief in this business? You get it here. You get it at the major events. And for those of you watching, I'm glad you're watching, but you cannot get what you get here. And if you believe and if you're learning what you're hearing from these people, then you need to make that commitment to get your tickets and to bring your people to that next event. Because that belief, nothing can replace it that you get being here. And there is no one who believes more or who has believed more over the last 21, 22 years than the next lady I'm bringing up. And I am so proud to introduce her as not only our top money earner in the company, an international field chairman, but continuing 21 years into the business to be one of the top recruiters in the business. And you know why she does it? She does it because she believes in it. How about a warm welcome for President's Challenge winner, international field chairman, #1 money earner, Elizabeth Weber.
Guys, I am more excited about the business today, almost 22 years, Jim, than I was 22 years ago. I'm more passionate about it. I mean, this business is amazing. Is everybody excited this weekend? And the reason why I'm at the pin level I'm at is because I got more no's than all of you. But I also got more yeses. Now, I was able to build this business my first 5 years
to be making over $1 million a year residually, my first 5 years. I worked my butt off, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And people say, well, why are you still building the business? I'm not building because I have to, or because of the money. I'm building it because I love it. I'm passionate about it. You guys, I believe in this corporate team. I believe in this company. I believe in the products. I believe we have the best thing out there, the vehicle that can change people's lives. Does everybody believe? I believe in you guys. That's why I continue to build. I believe in you. I mean, this business is about helping people. Man, let me ask you this. If you believe so much, then why wouldn't you want to share it with everybody? Why wouldn't you want to share it with everybody? I mean, this is a business where just by helping people succeed, you automatically succeed. And if I can keep helping people, I will continue to build this business. It's about making a difference. And you know, that $1 million that I created residually, I did that my first 5 years. That's gonna pay me for the rest of my life. That's gonna pay my kids and my kids' kids. We're leaving a legacy. It's not just about us, it's about what we're leaving, you guys. We're leaving a legacy to everybody. It's about helping people. It's about having fun. Hello, when you're having fun, it's not work. Seriously. I mean, being around positive, forward-looking people, fun people. I have fun doing it. It's not because I have to, I enjoy people. And you gotta lead by example. This is key, you guys. If you expect your people to go out there and prospect and recruit, you've gotta do it. People do what you do, not what you say to do. Believe me, you gotta learn, and the best way to teach somebody is by doing it yourself. So you gotta lead by example. People are not gonna do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And, you know, people will say to me, well, I'm helping my team. You know, I'm really focusing on my team. Well, let me tell you, you're really helping your team when you're prospecting and recruiting and placing them on the team. Would everybody agree with me? You're really helping your team. Lead by example. Be sincere and enthusiastic. You gotta be yourself. You can't be me, you can't be other people, you've gotta be yourself. But be enthusiastic. People know when you're excited about something. Enthusiasm sells, it's contagious. People want to be around energy. People want to be around excitement. So be enthusiastic. You know, I love this. A young person without enthusiasm is old, and an old person with enthusiasm is young. You guys want to be young? Just be enthusiastic. Posture yourself. You got the cookie. You got what people want, what people need. You got it in your hands, you guys. You've got to have the posture. They need you more than you need them. Does everybody get that? People out there need this business. You got the cookie. I'll never forget a district rally I did. I finished speaking. I had a guest there. She was sitting at a table with Bonnie Philo. I went over to her. I said, Laurie, how you doing? She goes, Elizabeth, I got the cookie. I get it. I got the cookie. And Bonnie Philo looked at her and goes, I got the cake. I got the cake. And I looked at her and said, well, I own the bakery. That's posture. Do you guys get it? You've got it. Be a friend-making machine. Go out and talk to everybody. It's just about making friends. That's all it is. I had to build this business with people I didn't know because I had lost all my credibility trying so many different things. So I had to get good at it. And I learned how to become a friend-making machine. And it's easy. And I'm going to show you today how to do it. Build relationships. Whenever you can, you guys, whether you have 3 minutes, whether you have 30 minutes, 3 days, whatever, you've got to build a relationship. Don't go in there for the kill. I know a lot of you hear about my stories, but I was desperate in the beginning. I did whatever it took. But when you're going to see somebody again, just build a relationship. Become their friend. When you build a relationship, they like you. They're going to want to do business with you. And learn to listen. That's why we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Learn to listen, you guys. Because when you listen, the need for the products or the need for the business or time freedom, whatever, you can't help it if they brought up the business. Say, I have something that may interest you. Ask questions. Use probing dialogue like, how you doing? How's your real estate business? How's life treating you? You can't help it if they brought up the business. The more questions you ask, the better. You want to keep asking questions. People love to talk about themselves. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you ask questions, let me tell you something, they're going to open up, they're going to trust you, and you're going to be building that relationship. I ask questions because I'm looking for the right fit. How am I going to attract them to my business? Or am I going to fill a need? You know, I want to find their pain. I want to know as much as I can about them so that I know how I'm going to prospect them. You know, you got to prospect before you recruit. You got to go out and be a friend-making machine. And whenever anybody says anything to me, complains about anything, whatever, I say, you know something, I have something you may be interested in. How easy is that? Exchange cards, give them a call. I have something that may help you. I have something that I'd like to share with you. I have something, okay? You've got the cookie. I love the 3 W's. Who do you know? What do you do? Where are you from? Who do you know? Who do you know who's looking for something? Who do you know that's sick and tired of being sick and tired? I ask people that all the time. Who do you know that wants to make a 6-figure income online? 9 times out of 10, they say, I do. Really? You serious about that? I have something I want to show you. Give me your card. I'll get to you in a few days. What do? When you ask somebody what they do, say, I bet you love it. 9 times out of 10, they don't. But what are they going to ask you? I always say, well, how long have you been doing it? You know, every question that you ask, you're building that relationship. When you ask somebody what they do, what are they going to ask you? What do you do? I say, I teach people how to make a lot of money online, and then I shut up. That's it. If they don't ask me another question next, I want people who want this. Is everybody with me? So what do you do? Where are you from? It doesn't matter where they're from. I'm expanding my internet business there. Doesn't matter where they're from. So the 3 W's help me out a lot. Always create curiosity. Just with this event this weekend, go home and just talk about it with people. So that they ask you questions, create curiosity. You know, a great example, because I don't go out to recruit, but I recruit and prospect wherever I go. I have fun doing it. It's not a big deal to me. It's part of me. Market America's in me. I feel bad if I don't prospect them. I really do. And so we were at Lisa and Ed Grant and Phil and Valerie Martin. We're on the boat. We went to a private island. And I said, oh, there's probably not going to be any people here. But there ended up being 5 couples, which was great. So Rick is a friend-making machine. He sets them up for me all the time. So he gets off the boat, talks to the first couple. He goes over, gets a beer in like 5 minutes. He's a friend-making machine. I come over, and I start talking to this woman. I just asked her questions. I said, so where are you from? And she said, oh, I'm from here. I said, how long have you been here? She said, about 5 years. I said, do you love it? She goes, yeah, I love it. What do you do? You guys, these are simple questions. What do you do? And she said, I'm in the car business. I said, how long have you been doing that? And she said, about 8 years. I said, I bet you love that. She goes, honestly, it's the only thing I can really do because I only have my high school diploma, so I can't really go out and get a job. And I make more than most people do going to college. She said, I'm really stuck. I said, you know something? I have something you'd be great at. I have something you'd be interested in. We exchanged numbers. I said, go to my website, www.elizabethweber.me. I'm going to get in touch with you. I mean, how hard is that? Then we go over to the next boat. Rick's already been there. Rick's already there. I go over and I introduced myself. I said, so you from around here? And she said, yeah. I said, what do you do? She goes, we're both retired. We're both happy. And I'm thinking, how am I going to fill a need? Or how am I going to attract them into this business? What am I going to do? So I started asking her questions. And to make a long story short, Valerie Martin says, I said to her, Valerie, go in and get their business card. And Valerie's like, oh, Elizabeth. I said, just do it. I'll set you up. Hold on a second. And she was talking about animals. She works with animals. And I said, Valerie, tell her about the pet health line. She got her card. That's an in. We have all these products and all these services. We are everything so that you can attract anybody to this business. And just by talking and building that relationship and asking questions, you can recruit. You can prospect and recruit. For new people, I teach the evaluation approach. That's the approach Bobby Canada got me with. You know, I just found something new and exciting. I really want you to take a look at it. People are willing to help, but if they think you're trying to recruit them, they might put up a wall. I trust your judgment. I value your opinion. I want you to look at this. Great for new people. 3-foot rule, direct approach. Compliment people. There's always something to compliment them with. Smile if they don't smile back next. Say hi, 2-letter word that made me more money than any word in the dictionary. Hi, how you doing? Use the immediate environment around you, okay, to get that bond with them. Use the immediate environment around you or compliment them. And then use the 3 W's. What do you do? Who do you know? Where are you from? Any of them, you guys. It's so easy to start a conversation. But book the appointment. You need to book an appointment and show the plan. Now, the first appointment might just be a portal tour. It might be a wellness 101. It could be anything, but you want to book it and follow up until they're ready to register. If they're not ready to register, get them to lead you to their people, because those are your people. You guys get that? Yeah. Lead you to the people. Book the appointment. Keep the funnel full, you guys. Don't depend on 1 or 2 people. You got to keep the funnel full. You know, so many people, they go after 1 or 2 people. They're there forever trying to get these people in the business. What do you do when somebody is chasing after you? You run. And then they wonder where they went. You got to keep going until you find the right people. There's endless possibilities out there. It's a numbers game. You're just not prospecting enough. It's all about finding the right people. You got to be consistently consistent. Don't waste time with people who waste your time. Please don't. Spend the time finding the right people. Work with the right people. You help others, you succeed. You guys, we've got it all. They've got it all. The only missing piece to this whole puzzle is you just doing it. It's you just getting out of that comfort zone and just talking to people, building relationships, showing the plan, and the right people will show up. Love you guys.
You know, you talk about being a prospector. We got into an elevator together. And when we got in the elevator, we were on like the 7th floor. It stopped on the 6th floor, and in walk 8 doctors. The doors shut, and Elizabeth goes, "Oh my God, you're a doctor. Give me your card." Every doctor gave her a card. By the time we got to the 3rd floor, they walked out, doors shut. We continued to go to the 1st floor, and my mouth was open. And I looked at her and I said, "How do you do that?" She goes, "Jim, that's why I make $1 million a year and you don't." So she does what she says. She's amazing. This next couple we're bringing up, very special. They are on fire right now. They've sponsored 4 people in the month of January, not including everything they did last year. You got to hear from Sarah earlier on as she talked about what she's doing with the company, helping us improve a lot of our different procedures and different websites we have. They're supervising coordinators. Their group's duplicating. They have 70 new business partners that just came in recently. They're on the way up fast, so get to know them. Please welcome Ryan Stack and Sarah Rose Stack.
So in the past year, we really wanted to increase our recruiting, and to do that, we had to get serious about identifying what the problem even was, right? We were growing, but not fast enough. We have 2 kids. We're working with people in our group that we want to grow faster than they're growing, and so we identified what are our challenges and how can we come up with a solution. So the first challenge was most people did not understand the direct correlation to prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring to their actual income. They just didn't get it. I want to make this much money, but they didn't know what it was going to take to get it to happen, to get to where they wanted to be. The second thing that we found, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but a lot of people have gone through this. They have this huge names list, but they talk to nobody. You want to know why? It's socially awkward, right? It's socially awkward. You haven't talked to these people in years, so you never pick up the phone to get them to see the plan. And the third reason was they didn't have a large enough network. So let's be solution-oriented instead of problem-focused, right? So we wanted to build a stronger action plan to accompany our goals, build relationships, and build a bigger network. And that's a big part of what I want to train on with Ryan tonight is how can you build a bigger network so you don't run out of people? So let me share with you an example. Our goal is by July 4th, we want to be residually making $10,100 per month, hands down without even blinking. So this is something that we did with our team for ourselves and for people in our group. The first thing we did is we had them choose a date that they wanted a certain monthly income by and map out how many weeks it would take. It doesn't have to be 90 days, it doesn't have to be 30. Just pick a date that's comfortable for you, right? And then consider the math, right? Because that's important.
Right.
The facts are important. Every new business partner would produce about 250 BV per month. I know we're going for 400, but 250 is the average, so we went with that. And the other piece of math was out of every 4 plans that you show, you're gonna sponsor 1 person. So this is a brand new distributor that came on right around the new year, and their goal was 25 weeks from then, by July 4th as well, they wanted to be at $600 per month. Right? So we got real serious about this, and this I learned from JR, because I wasn't making the money I wanted. He said, yo, you don't even understand how you're logically gonna get there. That's why we did this.
Yep.
So how much group business volume does it take to residually make $600 per month? Easy, 2,500 BV on each side of your business coming in every single month. So how many people is that gonna take doing the 250? Easy. 10 people on each side, all generating that minimum of $250 a month. How many plans do I need to show to find 10 people? 20 total. Easy, 80 plans, 1 out of 4. Personal plans and plans shown on behalf of people in your group, right? So that's it. If the person that looks at this says, well, that's not enough, how am I gonna do that? Then you say, hey, you either need to change your date or you need to lower what your goal is, but this is what it statistically is gonna come down to. So what we wanna talk about is where do you find the people for 80 plans?
Right, because that can be daunting for a new person. You always have people explain, I don't have enough people. You ever have someone say that? I don't know the right people, I can't find the plans. How would you like it to reverse itself? And your complaints coming in are, I have too many people that want to see the plan and I don't have enough hours. Would you like that?
Yeah.
That's what we put together, and
We
this
have
is in
that
practice.
happening.
This is in practice. This is not theory. This is what we were doing. We're trying to figure out what are we doing so other people can do it. And we came up with 90-day to massive sponsoring through Facebook. And what it is socializing. That's a keyword in social media, by the way. It's not hunting media or any weird thing. It's social media, socializing, and tightening up your existing network, warming up your cold network, and expanding into new networks using this. And really it boils down to 2 messages per day, 5 days a week. Everyone can do this. And it's simple. Take any relationship you have. I always use this as an example. Steve Blanchard, I used to work with him. So here's a message. Hey Steve, long time man, it's Ryan. Haven't talked to you since the good old days at the old company. Just wanted to send you a message to catch up. How you been? What are you doing nowadays? That's it. I'm just getting to know him, asking a lot of questions. I want to get him responding and talking to me. The key is be friendly. It's 2 times a day. Everyone can do this at any hour of the day. Find a way to connect. We used to go to the same school. We used to work together. We used to go to the same college. Make it short and end with questions. We want to socialize and create a dialogue. And the goal is to start, again, conversations. And by the way, they start spying on you. I call that passive prospecting. When they start getting curious, and before you even have a chance to ask them to see the plan, they go, I want to see the plan. What is this thing you're doing? Yep. That's what we like to see. There's a video on our YouTube channel, Ryan Stack, if you want to see that more in depth.
Yeah, and by the way, raise your hand if you've scrolled down your Facebook social media timeline today. Raise your hand. Don't lie, I know you did it.
It's all you.
Right, so if you could do something more meaningful for your business, wouldn't that make sense? 2 conversations a day will change your business over the next 90 days. Another thing.
By the way, if everyone in this room did this for 30 days, that would be 1 million conversations, 250,000 plans, and 62,000 new launches if you all did that over the next month.
Okay, yeah, it's a big deal. Another way that we expand our network is through our web center business. Now, you've heard the term retail to recruit, right? Have you ever sold a product or sponsored somebody that was a customer first? Of course you have. Well, with web centers, it's excellent because our customers are already entrepreneurs. They're already business owners. They already understand the concept of delayed gratification and the concept of leverage and building an asset. So you know what? We make it a point with all of our customers to introduce them to shop.com. And the way that we do that is really the Carl Eklund way. We get them to look at our website, we get them shopping, and then the next logical question out of their mouth is, wow, this is an incredible site. Did you build it? And I say, I wish. No, I didn't. I wish I built it. But, you know, it starts a conversation. And at that point, now we're talking about diversifying income. And guess what? These are conversations that business owners have all the time. It's a normal conversation. It's an excellent place to prospect and recruit. I'll give you a quick example. One of our biggest builders in our business was a website client first. It started with a website I sold to Diamond Gold Connection. They own several businesses. They referred us to another website sale. And while we were there working on the website with tech support together, he saw our organization down on our wall, and he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, that's another business. We're entrepreneurs. We don't just do this. We own another business as well." He goes, "Well, I want to be a branch on your tree." Literally, that's what he said.
That's Josh Wagner, by the way. Round of applause for
Yeah.
Josh Wagner.
Yeah.
Playa.
But here's the bottom line. That simple question, just being able to have a conversation, it led to an organization of over 100 people in 1 year. Website clients are entrepreneurs. That's an excellent place to prospect and recruit. So by the way, I threw this in here because I don't want anyone to miss this opportunity. You can get a free web center this weekend if you get your 3 tickets to the next international convention, because you can't recruit with web centers if you don't have a web center. So I wanted to throw this in here because you guys, the web center program has made a tremendous impact on our business, not just retail-wise, but like our group would not be the way that it is right now had we not had that.
Right. All right, and Twitter. Has everyone mastered Twitter, I'm assuming, by this point? You know exactly how to do it?
Keep going.
This was a mystery to me. So there was one aha moment that we had in the last month is we're all looking for entrepreneurs, forward-looking people, ambitious people, correct? That's what
Yes.
we're all looking for. So part of showing the plan is to get to those people quick. And what I found is I'm reading all these books on leadership and personal development and entrepreneurism by people who are individuals who created books, right? The authors of these books. Well, they have a following, and guess who follows those people?
More entrepreneurs.
More entrepreneurs. They've sifted, they've done the hardest work that we have to do for us through Twitter. So what we started doing is targeting those networks because they're already entrepreneurish, and we get into conversations by looking at any tweets they put out and responses, and we start commenting on those people who are leaving responses, and then getting it from there. We even move it over to Facebook so they begin to socialize and see what we're up to and reverse prospecting again.
It's incredible. By the way, we just sponsored someone from Twitter that we met during a live broadcast of the Grant Cardone Show, because you start conversations with people that are like-minded. It's simple. What about Instagram or Facebook? Generating interest. Guys, Lauren is the mastermind of this. She's going to teach you the nuts and bolts later, but just have a brand, right? Be consistent. Post every day. And by doing that, people in your warm network and people that you don't even know are going to start to follow you. I want to show you 3 quick examples. I posted my nail polish. Right? Some girl that loves nail polish found this, and she starts sifting through my Instagram, and she finds that I'm doing a webinar with Taiwan. Then she starts commenting, and she wants to know more about the business. She will be registering her business on the 16th. Right? I didn't even know her. It started with nail polish. Right? Here's another example. I posted a picture of all of the clothes I bought for convention. I said, now that's my kind of shopping or my kind of mail. Hashtag express, hashtag paid to shop, and then my actual website address, cashbackma.com. So I get a bunch of comments or whatever, but the very next day, I had somebody call me up and said, hey, I think you're a real expert in shopping. Can you do me a favor? I want to buy some new dance attire for my auditions for college. Where should I go? Registered a new preferred customer. Be consistent, it works. Socialize, meet people. That's how we found our prospects in the UK, by posting a picture. You know, just be yourself, be you. That's the best thing you can be.
And you're gonna hear this from JR because you've heard it from JR for 22 years, and I don't know how many times he has to do headstands, jump, throw things in toilets, run on treadmills till we get it. It's people lead to people lead to people, and it's not about the one person you're showing the plan to, it's the network of thousands that they have the pathway to that you need to concentrate on. You're gonna hear more of that.
So guys, we're out of time. I know that was a lot of information, but I want to just be very clear about one thing. If you're not recruiting enough, you don't have a big enough network, and once you stop expanding your network, recruiting is going to end for you. So you need to be less focused on how many people you're going to sponsor and get in, and more focused on how many conversations can you start, and how big of a network can you grow. So understand that cycle, and I hope you're going to go out and do it. I know you will. Bye, guys.